You've come to the right place, traveler.
Alright lads, welcome back to the channel. Cursedboy here with another build guide for last Epoch, and this time around we have Forgeguard for the first time on the channel, and we have Forgeguard Phalax Electrify. Now we got this concept cooked up before the season started. I already posted a video about the concept, and as promised I played the build to see it for myself, see how potent can be, how good can be, or maybe if it was a failure. It turned out pretty much as expected and even better actually. The build has a couple of glaring issues though that we want to talk about, and first of all, single target as expected is a little bit on the low side, mostly because we are relying on Vengeance and the Repose stack to proc our javelins through the Phalanx unique spear that we are using and we are building around. And a lot of the bosses, they don't attack us all that often, so you're losing a lot of DPS there. It's a little bit annoying, don't get me wrong, but on the other hand, we are extremely tanky on this build, like so many defensive layers, and I did up to 1000 corruption, 3.2, 3.3k hit points, and I didn't really feel any problems there. Now, should you be doing 1000 corruption with this build? Probably not. I would say 700 to 800 is the sweet spot for a build like that, because you will be face rolling, your damage is just good enough for those, and the best thing about this build is that you are actually a good echo farmer for a Forgeguard that doesn't really get a lot of movement speed, as you know, and we cannot get haste because of the Forge Master's Might. Actually, we are farming a lot of favor and a lot of EXP. We can do the super arenas as well very easily, and they're very fun to do so, if I so say myself. And honestly, the biggest satisfaction about this build is the more monsters you have on your screen, the better the build looks. Like, it's flashy, a lot of fireworks are going on, the more monsters, the better the satisfaction that you will get out of the build. If you have any juice strategies with like runes, with, woven echoes of reweaving, or any other juice strategies that have a lot of monsters packed in your echoes, you will have a good time with this build. I very much enjoyed my time with it, I have to say, and if you do play the build or any variants of it, do let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your thoughts. Now, one thing that I want to talk about, except the single target, is that for the single target in particular, but also for our satisfaction in our echoes, a little bit of ego boost, we do want to pick up potions and use our potions because of the new belt that we are utilizing. And unfortunately, the pickup radius of the potions hasn't been buffed. It's pretty bad. The chance to find potions, even though we do have a little bit, is still not amazing. I would like a little bit more, but nonetheless, the build is fun. I will see you on the actual client and see the gameplay and the planners, of course. So, if you do like the video, do hit the like button, it helps me a lot. Subscribe to the channel for more content. We have more Forgeguard Build that we're gonna be playing on stream, and yeah, let's see what we have. Alright lads, here we are in game, and we do look fantastic with the new MTXs and everything. Now, let's see what we are building around. First of all, we have the Phalanx Unique Spear. Now, the Phalanx Unique Spear is actually what makes this build possible. You get 100% chance to use Javelin when you repose. Whenever you're hitting with Vengeance, you're getting a repose stack. We are actually getting a secondary repose stack out of the tree. And the role that you care about here is the Vengeance Raids, which can go up to 72%. This is more quality of life because the Vengeance Raids actually got buffed this season, so with that you can actually attack from fairly far away. It's just a very nice thing to have. Other than that, our block chance while preparing to repose doesn't matter, because as you can see, without that we are almost at cap. With this you will be capped. The block effectiveness though, it has a very high range of roll, 400 to 720. It's actually good to have a good roll on that one, because it synergizes a lot with Countenance of Majasa, which is an absolute fantastic shield. We are getting a lot of damage over time mitigation out of block effectiveness here, so that's why we want as much block effectiveness as possible. And of course, to have more mitigation on our block hits, which is basically every hit that we are taking. Now, contrary to the first iteration of the build that I had on the concept, I went with Mantle of the Pale Locks instead of Titan's Heart. Titan's Heart is still a fantastic body armor to go for, but I went for the mantle because we can actually get a good amount of forged weapons out of them. So we are mitigating more damage that it's getting redirected to our forged weapons, and it's pretty damn good. Now, I talked about a little bit about the synergies on Electrify, and this is where Healing Hands is coming into play. We are proccing it always from our melee heads, which is Vengeance, and we are converting into melee. We are using these nodes over here for Electrify. We are getting a little bit of Electrify, but that doesn't really matter. But this is what makes this build really fun. The Electrify spread to other targets. So basically, whenever you're attacking, you can see here, we are proccing our Healing Hands, and we are actually getting our Electrify to be spread into other targets. This is what makes the build really, really fun, and it gives us a lot more clear. Now, as you see, the first time that I'm attacking here, I'm proccing a lot of smites. This is what Orion's Descent do. It gives us a lot of chance to cast smite on hit, but we only get 6 per 10 seconds, which is not amazing. But we can reset this by using a potion, right? The belt has a couple of important roles. First of all, the chance to hit as high as possible, above 40% is completely fine. But these two last lines, 50% chance to find potions and the mana gained on potion use, both of them are really, really important. The intelligence doesn't matter, so don't bother with it. But with those rolls, we get higher chance to find potions, so we can activate the Orion's Descent more, and mana gained on potion use, apart from Vengeance giving us a lot of mana, we can get a little bit more from the potions, which means that we can actually increase our single target. One of the things that I really did enjoy with the build is Time on Faith, because the recovery on life and mana that you're getting from Vengeance does not require you to hit a target. If I spend a little bit of my mana here, you can actually just hit the air and get your mana back, which is fantastic. On boss downtime and stuff like that, you can actually regain your mana really fast. Now, this is a build that it's very hard to demonstrate on the dummy, unfortunately, but we are, for the single target in particular, we are casting our Vengeance, and of course we are we are pressing our Javelin as well. You can see that my damage is 500, 600, around there, right? Now, what happens when we actually use our potions as well, right? Now, when we are using our potions, as you can see here, we're gonna go up to 800, 900, even a mil, and this does not count the Vengeance proc. So you can get a fair, decent amount of single target out of the build, not to the requirements that we have, you know, for very, very high endgame content these days, but it's still pretty good. Other than that, the build requires you to get a nice Code of Erased. The Javelin levels are the most important. Smite levels, not that important. They do help, but they're not that important. Elemental damage over time, honestly, would be better. I tried to get it, I didn't. It is what it is. And when it comes to the boots, we're using Blood of Exile because we only want as much high movement speed of out of our boots as possible. So this is why we are using Blood of Exile. Now, let's get into the planner and see what other things that I want to talk about and what you should be aiming for your gear in the build. Alright lads, let's get into the planner and see what do we have here. Let's start with the skills. First of all, Javelin. We are traveling into the Divine Throws. This converts it into Lightning and gives the Ignite and Bleed chance converted into Electrify. That's from all sources, which is fantastic. We're getting all the Electrify chance here and the Penetration, of course. And we are putting 1 point on the Divine Fury for piercing Line Spears, so they will spread even more and they will split against more enemies. We are traveling down here into the Spiked Bombardment as well. Additional Javelins. And this will also increase the mana cost for your Javelins. But we're going to talk about mana cost in a little bit. We want to get 4 points here for the increased damage over time. It's 100% more multiplier. And we are traveling here for the 60% more damage multiplier as well. This will give you minus 20% attack speed as well. Less attack speed to be exact. Now, for that reason, I decided to go into my delivery, which increases your attack speed and gives you another more damage multiplier as well. Now, if you feel the need to cast more javelins, self-cast them, you can get a couple of points here instead of the attack speed here and go into the minus max, or you can even cut those points, which I don't really recommend, but you can get the minus attack mana cost and also get minus attack mana cost on your rings as well, on the thrown attacks. So you can get the mana cost of the javelin fairly low so that you can cast more of them. I didn't find it that to be very useful, but it's another path that you can go if you wish to do so. Now, for the vengeance here, we're getting the +1 riposte and the extra one here. This is a more damage multiplier globally, 20% in fact. We are getting the attack speed. We want to max this out. It makes the vengeance feel a lot better. And we want the 26% less damage taken from bolster. We are traveling down here and we are getting the forged weapons so that we can activate our pair locks. I tried a little bit with the parry, but it didn't really matter. We are only getting +6 forged weapons at maximum, and it's not amazing. Now, for the symbols of hope, we want to get +1, so we are getting 4 symbols out in general. We want to travel here for the block and block effectiveness, and we are going here Electrify chance and Ignite chance as well. If you get extra points on symbol by any means, max this Ignite chance here and also get more points on the extra damage. You will need a lot of points to travel down here for the extra symbol, so it's not really worth it. Now, Smite, secondary source of our damage as well. We want to get the more multiplier here to 150% and the atonement for the minus sacrifice health cost. And just standard line here. We keep in mind that when you're getting Order of Lagoon, the Ignite chance is also, from all sources, is also converted to Electrify. So on your gear, you want to prioritize Ignite chance because it boosts both your Smite and your Javelin. If you don't get the +4 points that I have on my on my relic, you can cut maybe a couple of points here. You can cut maybe a point on the charge scan or maybe a point on the Wandering Bolts. Just make a couple of modifications on your tree. You can sustain the health cost fairly easy because Vengeance through Time of Faith passive actually gives you more recovery, and we're proccing Healing Hands for more recovery, and we also have leads, so it's not a big deal. Now, when it comes to Healing Hands, I already showed the tree here. We are going down here to make it melee, and we want to go into the Holy Winds. This is one of the most important ones. And we want 1 point in Divine Catalyst. That's very important. If you don't have 21, you got Blessed Paris and you get the Divine Catalyst. Why is that important? Let's get into passives and see why is that important. Why is because when we're getting Divine Bolt from the Paladin passives over here, it actually uses the Healing Hands tree if you have 1 point there at least. Which means that our Divine Bolts that we are proccing 2 per second, we hit that quota very easily with our Vengeance and our Healing Hands because they're both melee hits. They actually use the Healing Hands tree, which means that they spread electrifies just like Healing Hands does, which is a lot better for our clear. It makes everything pop in our echoes. Now we want to max out Conviction for line damage and line penetration. 3 points here for the block chance. Valor is mostly a travel point. You can get less points here or more points here if you need more endurance and a little bit of health. 5 points mandatory here on the blinding light. This gives us more electrified duration, which is fantastic, and a little bit of electrified chance. Also, blind chance and blind duration. That's very important because we are getting blinds to everything consistently. We have so many hits on this build, and that means that we don't care about any crit avoidance or reduction on our crits. Now, Piety is the last note here. More damage to electrify, 5% for the threshold, but it also gives us line penetration. You can get an extra point here to max this out, 6 out of 6 as well. 5 points on the Void Knight just for the void and physical damage reduction. Of course, a little bit of help. Void and physical resistance do help us a lot. On the main Sentinel tree, pretty standard. We're getting all the strength and the resistance here. We're traveling 1 point here for the block. Less damage taken from nearby enemies, and we want maxed out Time and Faith. On the Forgeguard tree, we want to max out Steel Ages here for the extra block effectiveness. We don't have anything else, and we need 5 points to travel. 5 points travel here. Maximize Guardian for the extra life. This is one of the most important ones. Smelter's Might. Now, this gives us 70% bleed and ignite chance, but they also getting double because we are using a 200 melee weapon, which means that for our javelin we're getting 280% electrify chance, and for our smite we're getting 140. So this is very, very important, very, very good. Now, because our javelin costs quite a bit, 30 mana cost on my setup, we are also getting crushing blows, which I didn't think of this before, but it does give us about 15% more damage for the javelin that will actually affect electrify. I have tested that, so don't worry about it. If you decide to go for a very, very low mana cost on your javelin, this you can take those points out and put them somewhere else a little bit more useful. Might here, strength and life, pretty self-explanatory. We want the 4 points here on the armor, but you can cut a couple points if you need to. They're not that mandatory because we do have a lot of armor through the stalwart stacks that we are getting. So my armor here is like 4k, but actually gets over 6k when I'm getting attacked and I'm having all those stacks. Now we want 3 points here to travel into liquid iron. This gives us less damage over time taken. Fantastic, a little bit of physical damage, physical resistance, and also they all doubled when we're using our potions. So we do use quite a bit of potions. The last couple of points here, my Forgeguard is 98. I would probably just get this one so that you can increase the chance to find potions even more. We are also getting increased armor on potion use as well. As I said, armor is not a problem on the build. Now, Colors of Solarum, less damage taken, of course, and extra block chance, and as well, it's 10% because we do have more than 50% block chance, so 10% less damage taken. Another layer on our defense. Force Master's Might is what allows us to use the spear and the shield, right? You can also get Seal Crafter 1 or 2 points here if you want to activate the Mantle of the Paylogs, but I found that with the Forged Weapons it's already quite fine, but if you don't get enough procs out of your Forged Weapons, you can get that. Now, let's talk a little bit about the gear and what you should be aiming for, what you should be slamming. Phalanx, of course, it's the main thing here. You want 2 or 3 LP. 3 LP is fairly easy to get with this, with the imprints, with Prophecies in Circle of Fortune. They're fairly cheap as well in the Merchant Guild. So we want tier 7 damage over time. Here we want Ignite, that's the most important part after that. And Bleed Chance is also good. You can get the attack speed also on the prefix if you want to. I missed my slam, but I think the Ignite and Bleed Chance are already very, very good for the build because they give you more electrified chance. Mantle of the Paylogs, you want tier 7, chance to electrify. You want either flat life or increased life. Increased life is better if you can hit that on a 2 LP Mantle of the Paylogs. When it comes to helmet, you want tier 7 electrify, and you want just vitality, health on the build here. You could also get the set affix here on the prefix. If you go here, you can get the Sun Forge Great Helmet at tier 5. This will give you more armor per forged weapon. As I said, we're capping at 6, so it's 36% armor and a little bit more health regen if you want to do that for a little bit of flavor, but it's definitely not necessary. Now, I do love Bleeding Heart here. It gives us more melee and thrown attack speed. We are using both in the build, and the elemental damage over time, it should be tier 7. I only have tier 6. Damage over time and health as your secondary affixes on the slam. If you can get it to a 3 LP Bleeding Heart, which is not that hard. Otherwise, the most important part is the elemental damage over time slam. When it comes to counters of Majasa, this you can farm from the Majasa with an Echo. It's 100% chance, so it's very easy to actually get a 2 LP. If you don't drop it, you can just go with your 1 LP Majasa shields into the turtle, try to get there. If you don't, you get free shields with their LP removed, and you can go into the Nemesis and try to get there. Plenty of choices. You want block chance and block effectiveness. If you happen to get a 3 LP, you can get either all resistances or life on the suffix. This is up to you. Whatever you hit, it's gonna be good. Now, when it comes to the belt, we already talked about it. We want tier 7 elemental damage over time and health. Of course, if you happen to have a 3 LP, you can also get cleanse as a secondary prefix, cleanse on potion use. It's gonna be very good. You can also get the +2 potion, +1 potion. Also, we get a few choices here. Even chance to find potion as a prefix is not a bad one for the build. Now, when it comes to the gloves, I used Falcon Fists because they have an enormous amount of melee attack speed, 27 on the maximum roll. This is all you care about, so try to get one with above 25%. And endurance on the implicit is actually pretty good for the build because we don't have access to that much endurance like Paladin does, so it's very good. You want the thrown attack speed here as an exalted, even tier 7 is good enough. I found a pair with tier 6 throwing and melee attack speed, so I used that on my slam. I was trying to get the hybrid life. I got the necrotic resistance. It's not bad because it actually helps us with our necrotic resistance, and I don't have to use humble idols, and I can use the stout idols for more life. When it comes to Blood of the Exile as your pair of boots, you just want tier 7 movement speed. If you hit an extra hybrid life or anything like that, it's good, but the tier 7 movement speed is all that you care. Plus for Javelin here on the Code of an Erased, fairly easy to farm. You can imprint a Code of an Erased with like 17 or 18 Weaver's Wheel. Up to 19, I do not recommend to go higher on your imprints, and you can drop a crap ton of them. So with the runes of weaving, you can actually get this fairly easy these days and very, very fast because you just do it on your forts and craft them basically on it. Now, when it comes to the rings, we want tier 7 elemental damage over time. I only have tier 6. You want life and maybe endurance or the secondary life and regen on your suffixes, but the most important part here that you can get as a sealed affix, I don't have it because I couldn't find one, is the minus reduction here. So you can get this sealed, and once you craft one good ring, you can use a rune of creation and get another one here, right? So it's very, very easy to do that if you can craft a ring like that, right? This is gonna give you -3, -6 to your Javelin procs, to your Javelin self-cast, and if you get more minus cost on your Javelin as well, it's gonna go a little bit lower. It's gonna allow you to cast more of them. Now, that's all about the gear. Let's see what we have about the idols. You want 2 idols of the add-on with the smite on sheet. One with block effectiveness, one with life. You can get both of with life. You can get both with block effectiveness. Whatever you have with good rolls. The chance to smite on hit is not that important, but you do want at least one of them to have a high percentage so that you can actually cap the 10 times per 2 seconds that you have. When it comes to enchantment, we have a couple of good ones. The one is chance to electrify and penetration, and the other is the electrify duration and elemental damage over time leads. The duration is what matters most. So whichever you can get at tier 6 or tier 7, go for it. The rest of the idols, they're just to help you with your resistances and with your life and a little bit of armor through the minor weaver idols as well. As you can see here, I have just life because it's 60% increased life. You can get block effectiveness as well on the suffix. Elemental resistances, cold resistance, lightning resistance, fire resistance, whatever you need on your build. You can also use humble idols with vitality and a good necrotic resistance or poison resistance, depends on what you have on the rest of your resistance here. Now, when it comes to the blessings, we want a chance to ignite on the Black Sun. Of course, these boosts are Electrify and our Javelin. We want the all resistances from the Reign of Dragons. Armor, Spirits of Fire, we want block and block effectiveness on Age of Winter. The block effectiveness roll is actually more important here because even with less block, because of the block chance while reposed, you can get your block cap very easily. But if you get 8%, it's still very, very, very good. And you want chance to apply straight line resistance on the build here. Now, I would like to get another shout out for the rings. You can go with a 2LP Oceanon. If I was playing COF, I would definitely go with a 2LP Oceanon because it's very easy to get a 2LP in COF. It's just very, very expensive in MG, and I have other builds to play on Forgeguard, so I wanted to spend a little bit less money on this particular build. But because this is gonna give you the shock on hit, it's gonna give you more damage, it's gonna give you less damage taken. It's not like we need it, but it's still there. why not? And that you can get elemental damage over time, and maybe either minus throwing cost or life, or damage over time as secondary prefix. You not get the set affix here. The set affix, it's just fire damage over time, which doesn't do a lot, but we can get 50% ignite chance out of our 2 rings with a tier 5 here, so that means that we are getting 50% electrify. It's not that important to get it, but it is a little bit better than the damage over time I found. I think that's all about the gear. We pretty much covered everything. Oh, for the helmet, just to note here, you can get any base because we don't really care about the less damage taken from the Leonine for the crit. But if you get a Leonine with a tier 7 electrify, definitely use that. It's just an incredible amount of armor. You can also get the cooldown recovery rate and the void resistance. It's pretty damn good. And when it comes to the skills on your bar, a javelin needs to be here. Symbols of Hope need to be here. Vengeance need to be here. The other 2 slots are free. I'm using Siltrars. I put the Vulnerary Versal as a secondary, let's say, movement skill. I never actually use it. I think I pressed it like 3 times. Siltrars is pretty damn good these days. And you can also use maybe a Lance if you want here for your secondary. You can put Rebuke on your back. You can do whatever you want, right? Alright, everything that I want to say about the build is being covered, I hope so. If you have any questions, do let me know on the comments below. Hit the like button, of course, and if you want more discussion about this build and the next Forgeguard build that we're going to be playing, you can always come on my Twitch streams. I will catch you on the next one. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Bye-bye.